Now on CoastTV News.
Deauville debate develops why one Rehoboth Beach Commissioner is attempting to get oversight of the beach back under city control.
Plus, strength salute. What an event this weekend in Rehoboth Beach is doing to help the family of fallen State Police Corporal Matthew Ty Snook.
I'm tracking one more mild day before a blast of cold air arrives to end the week. We're talking about wind chills in the single digits and teens. I'll have the latest timing in minutes.
And limits for leaders, how Delaware's General Assembly is attempting to cap the number of years elected officials can serve.
This is CoastTV News Today.
We are in our 6 o'clock hour. Good morning, everybody. I'm Matt Pensick.
Good morning, Matt. I'm Grace Eckerly. Today is January 14th, 2026, and thank you for being up with us during our morning show.
Yeah, we got one more day in the 50s, and then gonna get a big temperature drop, Grace.
I know. You weren't here yesterday, but Chris mentioned a little itty-bitty tiny chance of snow. I think he's just trying to make us snow lovers happy.
Is that the official measuring term?
Chris, is it a little itty-bitty?
Little itty-bitty, Chris.
Oh, it's itty-bitty, all right, and that's pretty much almost non-existent at this point as we go into the overnight. Very, very, very small chance to see some light snow overnight. But as we take a look at Cambridge right now, we are doing pretty good. Dry. Look at the temperature, 47 degrees. Average highs for this time of year are right around 45. To put it into perspective, we are all above the freezing mark at this hour. We're at 41 Salisbury, 45 in Redden, and we are at 46 in Lewis. We're running about 19 degrees warmer in Georgetown than just 24 hours ago as this warming trend continues. Southwest winds, we had some gusts overnight, 20, 25 miles an hour. And as we go through the afternoon, we'll see some gusts near 20 as well, but continue to see that southwest wind flow. We have moisture to the south, cold front to the north. That's going to be swinging by through the overnight. So expect increasing clouds throughout the day today. 53 by around your afternoon. So highs today are going to generally be in the low to mid 50s across the peninsula this afternoon. That cold front will be ushering in much colder air overnight. In fact, wind chills are going to be back in the teens and 20s with that brief chance of snow. In fact, we may see another round of some light snow over the weekend. We'll talk more about that a little later on in the newscast.
Thank you, Chris. And our top story this hour, it is in Rehoboth Beach, and it was over the jurisdiction of Deauville Beach, which is under city authority, but now is under DNREC control.
Recently, one city commissioner requested a look at the possibility of having Rehoboth Beach lease the property again. CoastTV News reporter Elisa Weber is in our newsroom. And Elisa, according to DNREC, the decision to take back management was due to unsuccessful negotiations between them and the city.
Good morning, Matt and Grace. Rehoboth Beach began leasing and managing Deauville Beach back in 1975. But back in 2024, as you mentioned, the city returned management back to DNREC, and it's now managed by the Cape Henlopen State Park Management Unit. But at a meeting on January 5th, Commissioner Chris Galanti brought up that the city should look at managing that property once again. He mentioned that it was actually an issue people brought up consistently throughout his campaigning last summer to become a commissioner. Commissioner Suzanne Good seconded the idea, hoping this could be done before the 2026 summer season. When DNREC took over operations, the biggest change was accessibility. Due to Deauville becoming state property, fees would begin March 1st, ending November 30th to enter daily. At this time, there is no set date as to when commissioners could discuss this topic, but we did speak with neighbors and people who use Deauville Beach about what they think, and we'll hear from them later on. Back to you.
Thank you, Elisa. We have an update on the crash on US 113 that we told you about earlier. The highway is closed now in both directions due to a crash. This is at the intersection of the Milton-Ellendale Highway. And now this is a developing situation, and we will keep you updated when more information becomes available.
Tuesday marked the first day of the second part of the 153rd legislative session in the Delaware General Assembly. And one of the highlights is a bipartisan bill passed in the House. House Amendment 2 to Senate Bill 106 requires school districts and charter schools to adopt a policy restricting student use of phones during school hours. The bill now heads back to the Senate for consideration.
New this morning, another bill under consideration in Dover. Senate Bill 222 was introduced on Tuesday. It is the first step in a constitutional amendment that would set new term limits for state legislators in several statewide offices. According to the legislation, a person could be elected to the Delaware Senate no more than 5 times and to the House of Representatives no more than 8 times. The plan would also limit the Attorney General, Insurance Commissioner, Auditor of Accounts, and State Treasurer to 2 terms each.
Maryland and Virginia's legislative sessions begin today. Lawmakers in Annapolis are expected to tackle the state's $1.5 billion budget deficit. And in Virginia, legislators are considering constitutional amendments, including abortion and same-sex marriage rights.
On Tuesday, Delaware Senator Chris Coons spoke on the Senate floor to honor the life of Delaware State Police Corporal Matthew Ty Snook. Snook was killed in the line of duty on December 23rd, and here's what the senator had to say.
I am so grateful for the service and sacrifice of Corporal Ty Snook of the Delaware State Police, a peacemaker, a hero, someone who deserves to be a legend in our national law enforcement community. May the God of love welcome you into his arms.
For more on Senator Coons' speech, head to the article on our website, CoastTV.com.
And this weekend, the Rehoboth Beach Barbell Club is hosting an event honoring Corporal Matthew Ty Snook. According to their Facebook page, the Lift in Honor takes place this Saturday, January 17th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., bringing people together through powerlifting and fitness challenges. The club says all participants donate directly to the official fundraiser supporting Corporal Snook's young family.
Happening today, the Sussex Preservation Coalition is expected to discuss predictions for Delaware's climate future. According to the group, a coastal hazard specialist with Delaware Sea Grant will lead the presentation. Information is set to include new climate projections and how communities can adapt, especially through land use planning. The Sussex Preservation Coalition says people can head to the Lewis Public Library at 7 p.m. or view online.
And we are now taking a live look at Washington, D.C. The Clintons could face possible contempt charges for defying congressional subpoenas. And this just in. Now some Democrats are saying the former president and former Secretary of State should testify before a congressional committee investigating Jeffrey Epstein.
NBC's Alice Barr showing us the debate taking place in our nation's capital.
Contempt of Congress charges now looming for former President Bill Clinton, with the House Oversight Committee saying they'll take that rare step after the former president failed to appear for a deposition in the investigation into late sex offender Jeffrey Epstein.
He did not show up today.
Former President Clinton, who appears in a series of photos and records related to Epstein, has long denied wrongdoing or knowledge of Epstein's crimes.
No one's accusing Bill Clinton of any wrongdoing. We just have questions, and that's why the Democrats voted along with Republicans to subpoena Bill Clinton.
Former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton is scheduled to appear today, but in a letter to the House Oversight Chair, both Clintons declined, saying they had nothing to add, calling the subpoenas legally invalid, and writing, quote, "Every person has to decide when they have seen or had enough and are ready to fight for this country, its principles, and its people, no matter the consequences. For us, now is that time." Some Democrats arguing the Clintons should be allowed to answer in writing, as others have, and pressing the Justice Department to finish releasing the full Epstein files.
And then we'll be able to determine all that we need to know.
Though Democrat Ro Khanna, who helped lead the charge to force the files release, said former President Clinton should appear.
Everyone involved should be providing an explanation, and I have conducted this in a way that doesn't single out Republicans or Democrats.
Conflicting views in a high-profile push for answers. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
Back here at home, small businesses in downtown Milton could soon get a financial boost. Milton Main Street says grants up to $2,000 are available to help local small businesses fund equipment, furnishings, storefront improvements, or marketing plans. Organizers say the program is funded by the granary at Draper Farm, a mixed-use development currently under construction in the town. Milton Main Street says the deadline to apply is February 15th.
Also new this morning, upcoming lane closures on southbound Route 1 between Best Lane and Janice Road in Lewis. It's the area that we're showing you if you look on your screen right now. And DelDOT says the closures begin Monday, January 19th. They're expected to last about 4 weeks, and work will take place from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. weather permitting. Delmarva says crews are widening the roadway, grading, and shifting temporary barriers as part of the Conway intersection project.
And we're just getting started here on this hour of Coast TV News Today.
Yeah, coming up, Route 50 bridge, when a detour is expected to impact traffic and for how long.
Also, BB Healthcare plans the changes that could aim to expand the company.
And Amazon Alexa Plus, what upgrades the company has planned for the virtual assistant. Coast TV News Today continues after the break.
It's a pretty nice start to our Wednesday here on Delmarva. We're all above the freezing mark at this hour. In fact, look at these temperatures. 45 in Lewis. We're at 46 Cambridge and Easton, 42 Salisbury, 43 Snow Hill, and 43 in Ocean City. As that warming trend continues, we're about 20 degrees warmer in Easton than where we were just 24 hours ago. Now, showers are well off to our west. We're going to see primarily dry conditions today. Mostly cloudy skies through the afternoon. 53 into Lewis, Rehoboth, 53 in Deauville Beach. Can't rule out a spotty sprinkle late this afternoon. Better chance, well, over the weekend. We see that front push through overnight. Could bring a brief round of some rain and snow showers. And then we're tracking some more light precipitation over the weekend. We'll talk more about that coming up in that full 7-day forecast.
Thank you, Chris. Happening today in Lewis, you may notice low water pressure or even discolored water. The Lewis BPW will be conducting hydrant flow testing, so if you do happen to notice any discolored water, officials say to just run your cold water for 10 to 15 minutes until it clears up, and they also advise to avoid doing your laundry during these tests.
On your screen now is the latest property protected by an agricultural easement under Maryland's Agricultural Land Preservation Foundation. We're looking at 186 acres off of Basket Switch Road in Worcester County. Now, including this purchase, more than 11,000 acres of farmland and forest in the county are permanently protected.
The MLK Weekend Dream Fest returning to Ocean City. The event bringing together families for 3 days of music, arts, and entertainment to honor Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s legacy. The first day kicks off with a performance from the Pointer Sisters at the Ocean City Performing Arts Center at 7 p.m. Dreamfest 2026 kicks off tomorrow and runs through January 17th in Ocean City.
Parent company of luxury retailer Saks Fifth Avenue filed for bankruptcy protection late Tuesday. Saks Global filed for Chapter 11 protection in U.S. bankruptcy court for the Southern District of Texas. Now, this marks the first big retailer bankruptcy of the new year. The company had struggled with a heavy debt load following its purchase of rival Neiman Marcus in 2024. Saks Global was the product of former Saks owner HBC buying Neiman Marcus for nearly $2.7 billion.
Amazon plans for its upgraded virtual assistant, Alexa Plus, to do a whole lot more than just play your music. Amazon executives said they're hoping the new Alexa will have a better memory and remember things about you, like your favorite restaurants, and even offer to book you a reservation. Alexa.com just launched last week, and those who sign up for early access to Alexa Plus can chat with Amazon's assistant on the website.
Well, we have one more mild day ahead of us here on Delmarva as we are tracking an Arctic front that will bring, well, a return to more reality-like temperatures. Temperatures are going to be falling into the 30s. Wind chills are really going to be the story through the end of the week. I'll talk about it after the break.
Time is 6:17, and you're looking live at the early morning scene at the Roosevelt Inlet in Lewis. And Chris, another mild day on tap before we get a big change.
Yeah, the bottom's going to drop out, unfortunately, tomorrow as we see a return to more winter-like temperatures, and those wind chills are really going to be the story as we push into Thursday and certainly by Friday. Ocean view right now, just a few high clouds there, 44 degrees, so quite mild this morning, and you can see the temperature change over the last 24 hours, anywhere between about 15 to 20 degrees warmer across the area. This should be where we should be for average highs for this time of year. 45 in Georgetown, 45 Milford, and we're at 42 in Willards. Wind flow out of the southwest. That's really the way we're going to stay through the day today. We do have gale watches up for both sides of the Delmarva Peninsula, and the watch is through tomorrow morning as we expect the winds to really begin to pick up into tomorrow afternoon. You see a few light showers across West Virginia down through Kentucky and Tennessee. This cold front just north of Chicago, that's going to be sliding southward into our area late tonight, and that moisture to the south there, that's going to push to our south and offshore as we go through the day tomorrow. 45, our average high. We're at 54 today, and then we're back into the 30s to round out the week. And then we will see another blast of Arctic air early part of next week. We're at 52 in through Lewis this afternoon, 54 Georgetown, 54 in Salisbury under those mostly cloudy skies. Maybe a brief sprinkle late this afternoon. Most of the region does stay dry through the afternoon and into the evening. Then overnight, as that cold front pushes through, notice a few light showers. This has been getting drier and drier overnight. Could see a brief rain or snow shower. Then we turn much colder into the day tomorrow, spending most of the day in the 30s, but feeling like the 20s. We see the warm wind today, but then tomorrow the winds will shift out of the west-northwest, gusting to near 35 miles an hour, and that's going to produce some pretty bitter wind chills. There's that moisture pre-dawn hours tomorrow. This is 3:30 in the morning. You can see very light moisture. May see a brief snow shower there, but most of that exits the coast by the time most of us wake up, and we're looking at pretty sunny skies by the afternoon tomorrow, but staying on the cold side. You see those wind chills by tomorrow afternoon too, feeling like 24, Millsboro 23, Georgetown 23 in Lewis. Gets even bitter into Friday morning, feeling like 9 in Milton. 10 in Millsboro, and then we'll have some moderation in temperature into Saturday with a late shower chance there. Could see a snow shower north of Delmarva. And then as we go into Sunday, this system getting a little more closer to the peninsula could graze us with some light snow showers into Sunday evening, Sunday night, and then there's that reinforcing shot of cold air as we go into the start of next week. We're at 54 this afternoon, the last mild day for a while, 29 overnight with that brief rain and snow shower. 36, a cold and blustery end to the week. We start the day on Friday with wind chills in the single digits. We're up to 45 into Saturday with a late shower, and then watching for that chance of some late snow into Sunday, especially at the coast as we go into early next week. Matt.
Thank you, Chris. BB Healthcare CEO and President Dr. David Tam was a guest speaker at the Millville Town Council meeting last night, and CoastTV photojournalist Matt Hipsman has a look for us of Dr. Tam's presentation and also information on Delaware's first medical school.
And we are able to continue to support the community.
We've watched BB come into this community, and we've seen them put the proof in their claims that they're here to help us.
I'm really excited to hear that more things are coming. The medical school, better care for geriatric patients. I've been very, very pleased with the quality of care that I received here from everyone. The nurses have been fantastic. Everyone has been fantastic.
Because there is a lack of home health care aides.
They're paying attention to the community and what the needs are, and they're also, behind the wheel. They're driving, but who's putting gas in the car? Where's it coming from? How are we going to grow and sustain that growth here in Sussex County?
Up next on CoastTV News today, Route 50 bridge, how officials are working to keep up emergency services and the impending bridge closure. Don't go anywhere. A big change coming to commutes in and out of Ocean City. Taking a look from our Coast Copter, drivers will have to detour around a full closure of the Route 50 drawbridge. That's from January 20th through February 3rd. Traffic will be routed up US 113 near Berlin, over Route 90, and back into town on Coastal Highway. Ocean City's fire department is urging drivers to plan ahead, slow down, and to give themselves extra time once the detour begins next week.
We have a lot of folks who drop their kids off to the elementary school or Seaside Christian Academy or to work over here. Go ahead and practice that route so you understand how much time you're going to have so that you can slow down and not be rushing to work, creating more accidents.
Fire officials say staffing and resort allotment are being adjusted so emergency coverage remains strong on both sides of the bay.
Hope your Wednesday morning is off to a wonderful start. Delmarva, quite mild out there considering this time yesterday we were in the mid-20s. We're at 44 right now in Lewis, and it's going to be a really nice morning through the afternoon into Ocean City. 43 there, 49 by around noon. Clouds will continue to increase throughout the day as we go into Lewis. 51 by around your lunchtime in Rehoboth, and then we'll fall to 48 by around 5 as we make our way into Cambridge. 46 through 7 a.m. and then we're right up into the lower 50s. Winds out of the southwest gusting near 20 miles an hour. Can't rule out a brief sprinkle late this afternoon. A better chance of a few showers rolls in overnight. Congratulations to Judith DiFrancesco of Lewis, Delaware on winning an umbrella from Coast TV. We'll talk more about some bitter cold air to end the week in our next half hour.
Thank you, Chris. After the break on Coast TV News today, inquiry into Clinton connection. What is sparking the bipartisan support to subpoena the former president and the former Secretary of State?
Also, action at Legislative Hall. We look at the legislation that's under consideration by Delaware lawmakers.
Plus, Deauville Beach ownership. What one Rehoboth Beach Commissioner is suggesting amid the area recently becoming controlled by the state. Coast TV News today continues after the break.
Now on Coast TV News.
Getting a beach back. A new effort by Rehoboth Beach Commissioners to regain authority over one stretch of the coast.
Plus, stopping student screens. Why smartphone usage in schools could have big restrictions.
I'm tracking one more mild day before a blast of cold air arrives to end the week. We're talking about wind chills in the single digits and teens. I'll have the latest timing in minutes.
And backing Milton businesses, the grant program available and the expected use of the new funds near the banks of the Broad Kill River.
This is Coast TV News Today.
January 14th, 2026. Good morning, everybody. I'm Matt Pensick. Good morning, Grace.
Good morning, Matt. Good morning and happy Wednesday. Thank you for joining us here.
Yeah, we're hitting 6:30 right now on this Wednesday morning. Grace is saying during the break she was a little disappointed about fashion coordination. I don't think the exact look, just the coordination, unless
a little bit. Yeah, I am kind of disappointed. Well, we all know that's, on Wednesdays you wear pink. Hasn't happened here yet. I've tried to get that momentum going. It does not. I don't know. I think that maybe Matt and I are just off our game today.
You know what? It might be. This is our first day back.
Our brain telepathy wasn't working. We didn't coordinate. But you know who always looks very, very nice?
That's what I'm being told, at least on social media.
Yes, is the crowd pleaser, Chris Mastrobono. He's always dressed to the nines.
Wow, Chris.
I try my best. I'm trying my best here as we take a live look into Ocean View. A dry and a somewhat mild start. Check out these temperatures this morning, 44 degrees. Remember, yesterday we were seeing temperatures across the area in the mid-20s. We're at 42 Long Neck, 45 Georgetown, 43 Bridgeville, and we're at 45 in Laurel. With that said, we're about 15 degrees warmer in Salisbury, 20 in Easton. You can see the winds out of the southwest. We've had gusts overnight, primarily around 20, 25 miles an hour. We haven't seen too many strong gusts this morning. Shower activity still well off to our west, as is the cold front dipping across the Great Lakes. That's going to be swinging by our area late tonight in through Thursday morning. We start the day with a mix of sun and clouds. Clouds will continue to increase throughout the day. We'll get up to around 54 by around 1. Can't rule out a spotty sprinkle late this afternoon. Most of the region does stay dry, but we have another risk of a brief rain and snow shower early tomorrow morning before sunrise, and then the cold air comes rushing in. We'll talk more about that a little later on.
Thank you, Chris. And it's our top story this half hour. For almost 2 years, Deauville Beach in Rehoboth has been under control of DNREC, who is the owner of the property. But up until then, Rehoboth Beach has been leasing the property for almost decades from the agency.
Now one commissioner is requesting the city look at the possibility of leasing the property again. And Coast TV's Elisa Weber is in our newsroom. According to DNREC, the decision to take back management, that was due to unsuccessful negotiations with the city. Good morning, Elisa.
Good morning, Matt and Grace. Rehoboth Beach began leasing and managing Deauville Beach back in 1975. But as you mentioned, in 2024, DNREC took back operations of Deauville Beach. making it managed by the Cape Henlopen State Park Management Unit. But on January 5th, at a mayor and commissioners meeting, Commissioner Chris Galanti mentioned that the city should look at operations of Deauville Beach once again. He said this was an issue on the campaign trail that people brought up frequently, and Commissioner Suzanne Good seconded the idea, hoping this could be done before the 2026 summer season. When DNREC took over operations, the biggest change was accessibility. Due to Deauville Beach becoming a state property, entrance fees would begin March 1st through November 30th. We spoke with neighbors off camera who said they want to see the city take back control. But one person we spoke with is fine with DNREC having control, but they did notice some changes this summer in how the beach was maintained.
I did think that the beach was a little more littered, and it seemed like it was a long time in between cleanups. I did notice that.
And at this time, there is no set date as to when commissioners will discuss Deauville Beach, but they did mention in the future they will keep it on an agenda. Back to you.
We have an update if you're about to head out on the roads. Here's an update of the crash at the intersection of Milton-Ellendale Highway on Route 16. Now, according to DelDOT, Route 16 is closed in both directions due to a crash. DelDOT is saying use caution, expect delays, and seek alternate routes if possible. Also to follow direction of on-scene emergency personnel.
Tuesday marked the first day of the second leg of the legislative session in Delaware, and among some of the action taken at Legislative Hall is the introduction of Senate Bill 222. It's the first step in a constitutional amendment that would set new term limits for state legislators in several statewide offices. According to the legislation, a person could be elected to the Delaware Senate no more than 5 times and to the House of Representatives no more than 8 times. The plan would also limit the Attorney General, Insurance Commissioner, Auditor of Accounts, and State Treasurer to 2 terms each.
And another bill under consideration in Dover, House Amendment 2 to Senate Bill 106, is getting bipartisan support as it has passed the House. The legislation requires school districts and charter schools to adopt a policy to restrict student use of phones during school hours. Now, this was created with educator input, and that bill now heads back to the Senate.
Maryland and Virginia's legislative sessions also beginning today. Lawmakers in Annapolis are expected to tackle the state's $1.5 billion deficit. And in Virginia, legislators are considering constitutional amendments, including for abortion and same-sex marriage rights.
In Milton, small businesses in downtown could soon get a financial boost, and here is what we're talking about. Milton Main Street says grants up to $2,000 are available to help local small businesses. This is for funding equipment, furnishing, storefront improvements, or marketing plans. Organizers say the program is funded by the granary at Draper Farm. That is a mixed-use development that's currently under construction in the town. And Milton Main Street says the deadline to apply is February 15th.
Happening today in Sussex County, the Sussex Preservation Coalition is expected to discuss predictions for Delaware's climate future. According to the group, a coastal hazard specialist with Delaware Sea Grant will lead the presentation. Information is set to include new climate projections and how communities can adapt, especially through land use planning. The Sussex Preservation Coalition says people can head to the Lewis Public Library at 7 p.m. or view online.
A man is on trial for allegedly killing his wife and another man. That was in 2023, and authorities now say he planned the murders with his au pair with whom he was having an affair.
Reed Binion showing us how officials say it happened and what's expected of the trial.
Brendan Banfield killed his wife, Christine Banfield, and another man named Joseph Ryan.
Prosecutors laying out their case against a Virginia man accused of plotting with his au pair to murder his wife and frame another man.
He mentioned his plan to get rid of her.
Prosecutors say Brendan Banfield and the family's au pair, Juliana Perez Magales, were having an affair.
They would use Christine's email accounts to create a fake profile to lure someone in who was into kinky sex.
The plot, according to prosecutors, included trips to a gun range, fake 911 calls, and allegations of BDSM sexual role play.
They would get this guy to come into the house and fake rape Christine.
Prosecutors say in February of 2023, that man, Joseph Ryan, entered the house after being tricked by Brendan and Perez Magales into thinking Christine had invited him to play out a fantasy.
Brendan would be the hero of the day. He would show up, kill the guy, kill his wife, pretending that it had been that guy.
According to prosecutors, Brendan Banfield shot Joseph Ryan in the head, then stabbed his wife.
I was able to see him stabbing her.
But Banfield's attorney argues the prosecution's case hinges on testimony from Perez Magales, who the defense says was put in a position to lie in exchange for a lenient sentence.
The whole reason she was arrested was to flip her against my client.
I'm Reed Binion reporting.
We are now taking a live look at Washington, D.C. this Wednesday morning. The Clintons could face possible contempt charges for defying congressional subpoenas. This just in, the House Oversight Committee saying they'll take that rare step after the former president failed to appear for a deposition in the investigation into late sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. Former President Clinton, who appears in a series of photos and records related to Epstein, has long denied wrongdoing or knowledge of Epstein's crimes. In a letter to the House Oversight Chair, both Clintons declined, saying they had nothing to add. Lawmakers on both sides of the aisle still want to hear from the former president.
No one's accusing Bill Clinton of any wrongdoing. We just have questions, and that's why the Democrats voted along with Republicans to subpoena Bill Clinton.
Everyone involved should be providing an explanation, and I have conducted this in a way that doesn't single out Republicans or Democrats.
Debate continues in this high-profile push for answers.
And we have a lot more news to get to in this final half hour. Don't go anywhere.
Coming up, Sussex County chef, the major opportunity that requires the food expert to take her skills abroad.
Also, City Hoops clash. It went down to the end between Waihi and Parkside as the Indians look to remain undefeated.
And flights at Salisbury Regional Airport, how the director could plan to expand operations. Stay with us on CoastTV News today.
We salute David Brown, a United States Marine who answered his draft notice just out of high school and served proudly in Vietnam. During his tour, he helped rebuild villages after villages were recaptured, bringing hope back to communities impacted by war. Honorably discharged and recognized with the Vietnamese Medal of Honor, David's commitment and character reflect the very best of the Marine Corps.
Spicer Brothers and CoastTV are honoring military persons and first responders serving Delmarva. If you have a family member, friend, or community member that you would like to nominate for a CoastTV salute, go to coasttvsalutes.com.
Hope this Wednesday morning is treating you well. Delmarva taking a live look into Laurel. Sunrise 7:18 this morning, and has been a mild start. 45 degrees there in Laurel. We're at 44 Cambridge, 41 Salisbury, and 44 in Bethany Beach. Winds have gusted anywhere between about 20 Smiths Island to 18 in Salisbury throughout the morning. We are dry, and we're going to stay that way for most of the day today. Can't rule out a spotty sprinkle late this afternoon, but really clouds will continue to increase throughout the day. Mostly cloudy skies through the afternoon as we once again get up into the 50s for one last day. You can get your latest forecast by dialing the First Alert Weather phone, sponsored by Brockstead Mandalas Federico. We will talk about an Arctic blast arriving Thursday and continuing through the weekend. I'll have the latest in a few minutes.
Thank you, Chris. Flights out west could be coming to the Salisbury Regional Airport. Salisbury Airport Director Tony Rudy says his staff and local officials would like to talk with American Airlines about expanding flights. Rudy says there is a specific airport in mind, but he was not willing to share which one that would be. Now, should this happen, one local official believes there will be plenty of interest on Delmarva.
Look, there's tens of thousands of old retirees, me to be one of them soon, living in Sussex County that would prefer to fly out of an easy airport like Salisbury than to drive to Philadelphia or Baltimore. That's just a fact.
Airport Director Rudy says that it is still unclear when discussions with American Airlines will really take off.
Delmarva Sports Network from the Wawa Studios.
Last year, the Rams beat the Tribe twice, but this year, Waihi had momentum and entered its first matchup with Parkside a perfect 8-0. Early in the game, it seemed like the Indians would stay undefeated thanks to Vic Collins. The senior scored 9 points in the opening quarter, but ran into some foul trouble. He picked up 2 whistles in the first frame, which let the Rams stay in it till the end. The game was tied at 30, then Waihi pulled away a bit, TSN's player of the game was senior Tayshaun Swan, who finished with 13 points and plenty of rebounds and steals to boot. His work on the Tribe's fast break offense helped solidify a late lead for his squad. Swan has been on varsity since he was a freshman, and it showed last night. Now, in the last minute of play, Parkside hit a few big buckets to pull within 2 points, the last of which was a three-pointer by Javon Comegys. But in the end, Wicomico won 46-43. The Tribe are 9-0, while the Rams are 8-2 after back-to-back losses. Waihi takes on another Salisbury school, James M. Bennett, tomorrow night. Parkside, on the other hand, has a chance to rebound against Stephen Decatur on Friday. That'll do it for sports. Have a nice day, everyone.
And coming up tonight on DSN at 6, we have live Delaware High School Wrestling when Cape hosts Sussex Central. Then it's the final score at 10:30. You can watch that wrestling match on DSN Plus along with these exclusives. At 6 p.m., we have NCAA men's volleyball. That's when Maryland Eastern Shore hosts Virginia Wesleyan. Also at 6, Indian River visits Lake Forest in wrestling. We have more wrestling for you at 6:30 when Dover takes on Smyrna.
Rough week? Cheer up with a weekly dose of local good news from CoastTV with personal features, fun things to do each weekend, and more. You can sign up now for free at coasttv.com/sign up to get your weekly dose of joy directly to your inbox on Friday. And here's what you can look forward to today on Coast Life at 4 p.m.
Hope you're having a wonderful day so far here along coastal Delmarva. And if you join us today at 4, here's what's coming your way. We're going to be chatting with our friends from the Parker Group about what's going on with the real estate market, some changes. Will they benefit buyers? Will they benefit sellers? Well, you have to tune in to find out. We're also going to be chatting with our friends from Children's Beach House about their upcoming gala. And we are going to be recapping yesterday's great debate, mac and cheese. Do you eat it with a spoon? Do you eat it with a fork? You still have time to chime in over on our Facebook page with the poll that's up for you. But we will get into the final sayings today at 4. All of that and more is happening on Coast Life. We'll see you then.
Well, feeling pretty good stepping out the door this morning. The temperatures in the 40s, and that's going to set the stage for once again getting up into the 50s this afternoon. And hope you enjoy it because the bottom's going to drop out and it's going to be back to reality tomorrow. We'll talk about how cold it's going to get. Full forecast next.
Time is now 6:40 a.m. as we're taking a live look out into Laurel. Sunrise reveal of the day. Oh, girl, that looks nice. I mean, I wish there was a way we could kind of like turn down the saturation or like the contrast or something and like see maybe a bit of a clearer image. But Chris, look at that. I got the sunrise. I got Chris.
Oh, yeah.
Beautiful.
And we're looking pretty nice to start the day today, and we're going to be right up into the 50s this afternoon. And we will have more clouds on the increase throughout the afternoon. We're at 44 in Cambridge, and we have seen some mild temperatures this morning, considering where we were yesterday in the mid-20s, right? 45 right now in Redden. We're at 44 Indian River Inlet, 42 in Ocean City. Winds haven't been all that gusty through the morning, and the winds will pick up later on this afternoon, then especially tomorrow behind the cold front. We do have gale watches up for both sides of the Delmarva coast, and those run through Friday morning. We are clear and dry for now, but we are tracking some showers back off to the west. Here's the cold front. We're about to push into Chicago, producing a little snow there, and that front is going to swing southward today, and there's more moisture to the southeast, and that's going to be pushing offshore through the day today. We're at 54 this afternoon, down into the 30s to round out the week. Average high is 45 for this time of year. Mostly cloudy skies through the afternoon. We'll top out around 54. Georgetown 52, Ocean City to 54 in Cambridge. And so there's mostly cloudy skies through the afternoon today. Can't rule out a spotty sprinkle, ever so slightest chance late this afternoon, but most of the area stays dry and mild through the evening. And then there's that round of showers, very light, moving very quick overnight, could transition to a brief period of some light snow showers, but then we're clear and dry, but very blustery as we go into the day tomorrow. So we have the mild wind today. By tomorrow, we're gusting out of the west-northwest near 30, 35 miles an hour. There's that moisture tomorrow morning before sunrise. Could briefly change to a brief period of some light snow showers, but very small chance at this point. We are just cold and dry to round out the week. So the wind chills tomorrow afternoon are going to be in the 20s. By Friday morning, it's going to feel like 10 in Long Neck, 9 Ellendale and Georgetown, And then we'll see moderating temperatures at least through the start of the weekend. Most of Saturday is dry into the 40s. Can't rule out a late shower there. Better chance of a snow shower to the north of the peninsula. Then an area of low pressure is going to track offshore into the weekend, and that may push close enough to give us maybe some light snow showers and even a brief period of light snow, especially at the coast into Sunday afternoon, into Sunday night. We'll have to keep a close eye on that one. But the story really early next week is going to be another shot of cold air. In fact, we may see some of the coldest air we have seen so far this season. 54 this afternoon. Yes, the last mild day of the week. 29 overnight with that brief round of rain and snow showers before sunrise. 36 into Thursday, a cold, blustery end to the week. 37 into Friday. Now, as we get into Friday morning, again, those wind chills are in the single digits. Now, the weekend, primarily dry and cold, 45 with that late shower. And then we're watching that chance for a little snow showers, especially at the coast into the evening. And then we start next week pretty cold and dry with temperatures in the low 30s. Matt.
Thank you, Chris. A Sussex County chef is taking her skills to the Winter Olympics. For 35 years, Maria Fraser had a landscaping business, but now she's the executive chef at Cafe on 26 in Ocean View. World-renowned Italian chef and the Olympics culinary director Carlo Zari started coming to Cafe on 26 when visiting Delaware's coast, and Maria was selected as one of 6 American chefs joining Chef Zari for the Olympics.
I'm sure I'll be working a lot, I'll be prepping a lot, and cooking on the line a lot, which is fine with me because I'm used to doing that here 18 hours a day.
And Fraser says she isn't sure what she is cooking when she gets to Italy, but says she's excited to bring a bit of Delmarva with her and hopefully some Italian cuisine back to Delmarva.
And a reminder, the Winter Olympics run February 6th to the 22nd, only right here on CoastTV. And the time is now 6:53 a.m. Matt, I can't even look. This is making me too excited.
Yeah, we had this last hour. Yeah, Coastal, rare video. Also rare video of Benny. Benny's been a longtime favorite here, and he found his forever family years ago, and his life has been filled with a lot more love ever since. And Benny, as always, is submitted to us by Tammy and Seaford.
Everyone say Happy Gotcha Day to Benny. How exciting. And we want to see more of your pets on Delmarva. You can send us photos or videos like this one of Benny here and tell us what makes your pet so special. If you want to take a look at your screen now.
Scan that QR code top center to get your friend to Coast TV News, and then watch weekdays from 5 to 7 a.m. to see all the pets we feature. Before we get to Chris, got one more update on that Route 16 crash in Ellendale. It was just minutes ago that DelDOT cleared the advisory, so good news there. Now, as for the weather conditions, Grace, feeling fine mid-January in the 50s?
Fine for the 50s. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
Can't beat it, right? I mean, temperatures right now are where we should be for the high for the day. We're in the 40s, rising into the low to mid-50s this afternoon under mostly cloudy skies, and then we'll see a few showers, even a few snow showers early tomorrow morning. But really the story Thursday and Friday is going to be those wind chills. By Friday morning, feeling like the single digits. Could see another round of some potential light snow Sunday evening, and then we're just dry and cold into early next week.
Thank you so much, Chris. I'm excited.
About the
snow, the S word, snow, maybe snow on a sun. We are feeling fine in the 50s, the snow in the Sunday.
It's a big extreme in temperature dips. All right, well, the Today Show is coming up next at 7 a.m.
And then we'll be back for Coast TV News midday at 11.
Have a great Wednesday morning, everybody.